Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amir Yarkoni. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Seperia. I'm going to talk about a completely different subject. My subject today will be decision-making in online marketing. I'm going to talk about high-level decisions, about SEO and PPC decisions, a little bit of a recap. A little bit about me. I'm a software engineer by trade. For the past 8 years, managing Seperia, formerly known as EasyNet. We at Seperia have been involved in intensive online marketing activities over the past 8 years, and I wanted to share some of the insights and cases we've seen with you. So why is it important? Why am I talking about decision making? I mean, we have to make decisions in business on a daily basis. We always have to make decisions. So what's so different about online marketing? Well, as online marketers, we faced very rapidly changing environment. We need to rely on partial data in fast changing condition, which make the decision process much harder, much more challenging. So I thought it's worth mentioning. So let us see some examples about high-level decision making. Okay. One decision that we as online marketeers face is which geo markets to target. And many of you, when rolling out a new product or website, will naturally target the European, the US markets. You naturally resort to those markets, but you're going to do it because those are affluent markets with the highest purchasing power. But the world is changing. Those markets are not growing that much. They're ultra competitive at this point. And new and sometimes very good consumer markets emerge around the world, which you should consider targeting. You should consider investing your efforts in. So, for example, Eastern European, Asian markets, we have had great success on some of these markets with a host of clients. So how can you tell? How can you know which markets to target? So your decision process may include, where are my competitors advertising? Where are they going? You can do some research about it. You can do some small-scale PPC tests. You don't need to spend millions of dollars to test the water in each and every country. Just run small-scale, spend a few thousands of dollars and see where you can find some oil signs. In which countries does your product catch, and then you can invest more in localizing them to the local language. One example that we used, one tactic that we used is trying to target the more affluent part of the population in a developing country. For example, trying to target smartphone users. Acquiring them through mobile traffic, and once you can get someone to sign up and get their email through mobile phones, then you can also expand your activities to the desktop. This is, for example, when you're assuming that smartphone users are the more affluent part, the richer part of the population with the highest purchasing power, so you can pinpoint them from the rest of the population. So this is one tactic to use. Well, another decision that we sometimes face is, should I go mobile? And the answer is yes, of course you should go mobile. This is how mobile traffic looks like on many websites. This question is pretty much like asking in the late 90s, should I have a website? Well, any business should have a website. And when I'm talking about mobile, I'm not necessarily talking about apps. I'm talking at least about having a mobile adjusted website where users can read your content on smartphones. And you can do it when you have an e-commerce site. You can do it for extended usage, extended stickiness for your product. For example, Easy Forex are offering a trading app on iPhone and Android. They're getting users to trade more through the app. They're providing a better user experience, a better service, and they're getting a higher ARPU, average revenue per user, when offering the mobile experience. Sometimes you just want to offer mobile just to extend your brand experience, provide a better service to your users, like this example. And sometimes you just want to acquire clients, acquire new clients on mobile devices through mobile traffic. The traffic is less targeted and less segmented than desktop traffic, but still it's quite cheap, so it's worth testing. These things are spreading, QR codes are spreading quite rapidly, and they're kind of connecting the offline and online world. So you can see them even on pamphlets, on booths, on the restrooms, everywhere, pretty much. So users can scan and get to your site directly by these QR codes. So this is another reason why doing it. Okay, another question is, should I app or not to app? Should I build apps? Look at this example. Does it look like an app? What do you think? Is it an app? Okay, you're right. Whoever said no, many used to think that it's an app, but actually it's an HTML5. It's a mobile website. It's a mobile web page. The point I'm trying to make here is that mobile websites can pretty much resemble the experience of apps. So the question remains, should we app or not? The reason to app, there are a few reasons, but one of them is that apps offer some extra functionalities. For example, push notifications and some others, when you can do with native device and you cannot do with mobile web. You get more real estate on the devices. If someone downloads your app to their mobile, then you get more real estate. If your app is very popular in the app marketplace, then you get more visibility for your brand. So this is another advantage. On the other hand, why not app? The answer is that it's very resource intensive. To build native apps, you have to support multiple platforms. You have to support iPhone, iOS. You have to support Android with many different versions of Android, and Nokia, Windows. And it's quite expensive programming workforce. There are some tools like Conduit and others that can help and streamline this process, but it will still require quite a lot of maintenance and programming. So should you app or not? Depends. If it's a classic cost-benefit question. If the extra functionality and extra benefits really are worth it as far as the resource investment, you should really investigate this well before going out and building apps. A question of a different type that we are facing is to splash or not to splash. A splash page is a very conversion-driven page. For example, you can see here IncrediMail homepage. A splash page means to convert the user right from the page without offering a navigation forward. It's quite the other extreme from a corporate website. And traditionally, it was used by casual downloadable products, which made sense. But we're seeing more and more companies going that direction now. And should you really build your website, your homepage as a splash page or something that goes in this direction? It depends. It depends. How much information do users need in order to get started? Do they really need a lot of information, or can you get them to sign up directly from your landing page, your home page? Okay? One other example of a splash page is Webia. Webia is now a Conduit company. Webia is doing something in between. It's kind of a splash page. It's very conversion-oriented, large fonts, large sign-up button, but still it offers a little bit more information. It offers some navigation items. So this is kind of upgraded splash page. Many SaaS companies now are going that direction. So this is a quite important web design trend, I would say, which you'll see more and more in the coming years. Okay, a little bit about decision making in the fields of SEO and PPC. Let us consider some examples. Which SEO tactics should I choose? Lots of people were doing lots of SEO websites, full SEO websites, which means that they were writing tons of low cost, usually low quality content in order to capture any search term on earth. And some have even done big businesses out of it. And even legitimate companies that do have a product used to write lots and lots of SEO content for the website for the same purpose. And this worked for many. One example is here. You can see a page with this subject and lots and lots of advertising, basically trying to monetize from the advertisings. This is an example of the first case. The other SEO direction which you could choose is invest in real value to users, build a real product, and I mean a real website, a real product on the web, not just the product. And one example is Forex Pros. This is one of the largest Forex portals on the web. You can see lots of valuable information in various content formats. You can see lots of languages supported here. So you can tell the difference between this and the other example. And this was a real question, where should you go as SEO? And actually this question is no longer a question since Google's Panda update. Panda update was released in February of 2011. And basically, I'm not going to go into the dynamics of this update, but it goes and investigates more and more the user's behavior on websites. It looks at things like social sharing. It looks beyond links and content. And it's trying to filter low-value, low-quality content which users don't really like, don't really show signs of interest in. And it pretty much rules out the previous strategies of just building tons and tons of content just to be very relevant and capture narrow long-tail keywords. So I would advise to avoid SEO sections, to avoid SEO content, to start thinking of SEO as an integral part of marketing. SEO is still hugely important, but the basic elements of SEO are there. You still need to understand what keywords your users are searching for. You still need to build great content that get ranked for those keywords, and you still need to convert them through them reaching your content and moving on and converting. So the elements have not changed. You just need to build things differently. You need to integrate your SEO with your marketing, and you need to invest in quality on the expense of quantity. To avoid the algorithm shift effects, if you're thinking long-term, you pretty much can avoid it because you're not trying to exploit loopholes in the current algorithms. You're just building great stuff with lots of awareness for SEO considerations, for search considerations. Another question in the PPC area that we ask ourselves is, how do I determine my CPA, my cost per acquisition targets? And this is a critical decision for PPC marketers because it will determine how many clients they're able to acquire and the development of their economic cash flow and revenue. Basically, this decision is based on the client lifetime value. There's never enough data to make this decision unless you're Amazon or someone like that. You need to rely on partial data. And I'll show a few outlooks that can perhaps help with this question. It's not a simple question. It's never a simple question, but it's a very important one. If you're putting your CPA too low, then you're not going to maximize your potential, and you're going to acquire too little clients. So One question that we can ask ourselves is, how far in the horizon can you see? Okay, can you look forward for 1 year? Can you look forward for 1 year? Can you look forward for 18 months? Can you confidently look forward for 2 years? This will determine how much we can trust the evolution of our revenue per user, per single user. If we can rely on the full 2 years, then we can assume that the user is worth $500 for us, and then determine which margin we want. Okay? So this is one question. How much confidence do we have? How much history do we have? One other outlook is cash flow. Sometimes you can be very profitable, but still go bankrupt because your cash flow can't stand it, because you're spending the full amount to acquire a client right now. But if you're based on a subscription model or getting a client over time, then you can't really afford to make your revenue per 2 years forward and then invest the full price of acquisition right now. So here we're seeing a few scenarios from the $50 CPA, which is the lower extreme, to the $450, which is the higher extreme. In the $450, we're going to be very negative in the beginning in terms of cash flow, because we're paying a lot to acquire each and every client, and we're acquiring more clients because we can afford to acquire more clients. Okay? So in this scenario, we're starting out very negative on the cash flow, but over the duration of the 18 months, we're going to be in the best scenario after the 18 months. In this case, 200 or whatever. The other extreme is $50 CPA, in which case we're going to be almost break even from the start, because we're acquiring very few clients and we're covering their cost of acquisition in a matter of 2 or 3 months. So we're almost not getting into a financial hole, we're not getting into a minus, but by the end of the 18 months, we're going to be very modestly positive on cash flow. And in between, you can see all the other scenarios. So you must consider your cash flow as well. Another consideration is market share. How much market share do you want to gain? Obviously, as you have probably guessed, the red line is not really realistic, because you're not going to acquire as much as you push your CPA high. At some point, you're not going to get more clients in a linear manner. Okay, at some point, whatever your CPA is, your market share is still going to pretty much flatten out. So you need to find this point. A more realistic scenario in most real-world cases is this one, where in 250 or 300 CPA, your market share is going to pretty much flatten out. So these are a few tools or outlooks to help with determining CPA targets. Another question that we, as online marketeers, ask ourselves all the time is, where should I send traffic? Lots of brand marketeers and company owners like to send traffic to home pages, where others, direct response marketeers, like to send traffic to registration and lead capture pages. So where should we send the traffic? What do you think? I guess most of you will prefer to send it to a lead capture page. Okay. In online marketing, we're always talking about testing. Okay, just test and see. Wherever you can get a better conversion rate, just send the traffic there. But it's not that simple, because we see that differential client value may emerge, okay, sometimes from different conversion scenarios. Sometimes different types of client behave differently. So if you get a higher client value in this way, with less clients, sometimes it's more valuable than to get more clients, less valuable on this venue. Okay, sometimes you have broader brand effects on this decision. And actually, we're seeing now some industries that are reverting back to homepage traffic. You need to ask yourself, does your product require a long persuasion process? Okay. What kind of qualification do you want from your users? Sometimes you have, you want them to get to your support or call center very qualified leads and signups. Sometimes you just want a mess, a mess of leads. So it's a question of your capacity, of your business structure, however your structure in terms of your sales team, your support, and etc. Basically, you need to treat traffic differently. Not all traffic should go to the same place. You need to identify traffic segments that are more upstream, okay, not ready to convert yet, and send them to a more generic page like your homepage. And traffic segments that are ready to convert, you need to send directly to conversion pages, to hardcore conversion pages. So treat traffic segments differently. And always measure the long-term behavior of those two acquisition funnels. Long-term behavior does not mean only cost per acquisition, etc. It means also your client values by the end of the day. Okay, we discovered it's a period that at least 50% of PPC manager time should be spent on making decisions, on making lots and lots of micro decisions. Sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller, but sometimes it's a big decision, sometimes it's a structured decision, sometimes it's a landing page decision, but they need to make decisions. We discovered that this is the greatest challenge of running high-scale campaigns. So, how does your organization handle data overload? We at Saperia have developed the HBI product to cope with this challenge. HBI connects all the data together from back office and CRM with the advertising data and places a very powerful analysis tool in the hands of the users, empowering him to make faster and better decisions. If you want to hear more about it, read more about it, you can go to edge.bi or just talk to me afterwards. So, a little recap from everything that I've said. Decision making in online is short term, okay? You can't usually think 5 years forward. It's not relevant. You need to make decisions that will adapt to fast-changing conditions. This means that you need to build agile system and get ready to make quick changes. Okay? You can't fall in love with your products and strategies because they may need to change very, very fast. Okay? So don't fall in love with your stuff. Maybe it was a great decision. Okay, I'm done in 2 minutes. Maybe it was a great decision, maybe it was brilliant, but maybe you need to change it because the market has changed so dramatically and so fast because this is the nature of the internet. So don't fall in love. And you've heard it a million times, but always make decisions with a very sharp focus on your users. Okay, what's with your user experience? This is something that will always this is kind of an anchor. This will always stay true. Stay focused on your users. Give them a great experience. You must give them a great experience to build a good company. And this is what works for Google. This is what works for Facebook. And this is what can work for each one of you that's developing new companies and new websites. That's it. I'm done. Thank you.